Hi everyone, welcome to day 13, part 2 of constraints. I have already covered primary key and foreign key in the previous video. So if you haven't watched that, please go ahead and watch it. So in this video, we are going to cover about unique key, not null and identity. So what is unique key? Unique key is a key constraint which we can set on a table that would help you to set a constraint saying that okay, this column or the combinational column should be unique in this table. Let's say like if I say in this example, if I have it like employee name as unique, I hope I have already created this when I was testing the query. It might throw an error. Unique name 1 is already there, and I have also created a unique name 2. Yeah, unique name 1, unique name 2. I can create unique name 3, no problem, but it's going to do the same purpose, right? So unique key would ensure that okay, this column, whatever you have written in the bracket, should be unique. Let me try to insert data into this EMP table. I have this query here, yeah. So I have it. Select star from. So what do we have already in this table, right? I have A, B and a null value. So that says that unique key allow nulls but not more than one. Okay. So unique key, yeah, if you try to insert it, say that it's violating the unique key thing, and I'll try to put a value A which was already there in the table. This is also saying that unique key is not allowed. So what it says, you cannot have duplicate value in a column or the combination in a column what you have written in the unique key column list here, right? So this is what unique key is, and I'll just quickly summarize the difference between unique key and primary keys. That would definitely help you in this interview questions. One is primary key is to uniquely identify a row from a table, and you can have only one primary key, and primary key by default create a clustered index on top of your table, and primary key does not allow nulls. But in case of unique key, how many ever unique key you wanted to create on a table, you can create it, and unique key allow null one time, because if you add the second null, it consider that as a duplicate. And unique key and primary key does not allow duplicates, and primary functionality of primary key is to primarily as a key that help you to retrieve the data, and unique key is to implement a uniqueness in the data based on your business requirement. And primary key is necessary when you are going to create a foreign key with this table. Correct? So that is all about primary key and foreign key. Then we'll quickly move on to the check constraint. So I'm creating an age column in my employee ID, and you know why I'm having tiny int in the age. We discussed about that in the data type session. And I'm going to create a constraint. So what I'm going to do this check constraint, right? So when I created this tiny int, I set a limit for my data that is going to be 255, right? I cannot create anything beyond 255. I cannot insert anything beyond 255 in the age column because it is already tiny int. But you know that age is not that going to be 255, and you will have age only around like 130. And in some applications they will have age limit between like it should be greater than 13 and less than 60, right? Something like that based on the application which you are using, right? So in that case, web application or whatever the application you use may have some constraints, but your designs of table also should align with that. Then only you can ensure that if somebody is going to make a changes in your data in database, they'll not be able to enter a value that is not allowed. Okay, so here what I am trying to do, I create a column called age. Okay, Okay, it's already there, right? So I have created an age column, and I'm saying setting a constraint that age should be between 13 and 60. So anything more than 13, sorry, anything more than 60 and anything less than 13 are not allowed to store in this age column. That is all I have told the system, and this is pretty straightforward. You put check instead of unique. You have seen here on the top, you mention the column names. Here in check, you have written the condition against that respective column. Okay, so you are setting this condition on this table emp and say that age cannot be greater than, sorry, age between 13 and 60. I'll use the same query. I have added a new column, you know that. So it's going to, so I'll put a number 13. Okay, so now I need to worry about all these conditions. I have unique key, I have primary key, I have check constraint on a data. So I inserted the data 13, but let us try to insert age as 1. So okay, it's not throwing my constraint error, it's throwing my primary key error, and I cannot keep it. So first I'll check primary key, it throws an error. Then if I keep the same name, it will throw a unique key constraint error. Now, like, I corrected both of them, trying to run the query with the age check constraint error. Yeah, you got a check constraint error that says you should not have age in that limit. You know what is the limit you have set, so it's throwing error. So just read the error carefully, so that like you will understand. So now it says that check constraint is the error. You can come, you know which table you are talking about, employee. So you should be able to see that constraint here in this constraints area, so that like you can go ahead and read it. If you want, you can script it and understand what is this. If you are getting this error which is not 100% clear, right, you can use that path to make like understand what is the actual condition applied here. Okay, so with that we'll go to the last one, identity. Yeah, in identity, what is identity? So you have a column, whatever it can be, ID, employee ID, whatever, but you wanted to have that ID column to be incremented automatically, right? You wanted to start that with a number, and you wanted to increment that with a particular number. So that is what an identity column. So identity column, you don't need to insert that explicitly. It will create inserted by the system automatically by finding like what was my previous number, let me add one number to it, and it will be keep adding that. So I am creating a table called test identity, because I didn't create that. Yeah, I created this test identity column, and I have two columns, that is, one is identity ID and the second one is name. And this primary key, you can keep it or not keep it. Since we have learned it, I sort of using it. And primary key is unique. It like ID also will make sure that this is going to be unique. I'm inserting the first value as DSA. So let us see what it has shown. It is inserted with 1, and I am going to insert DSA 2. It inserted another record DSA 2. And ID, this ID column, I'm not setting that here, and it is automatically getting created, right? But can we change that property? Yes, this is like you can again add or remove this identity, and there are like DBCC command that help you to reset the identity and all. We are not going that in detail, but understand that if you wanted to automatically increment a number, you can use the identity function. So I'll wind up this video just by adding one interesting part which you can learn. So if you wanted to know like what ID it is inserted, right, you have the only way which you can see what was inserted is like go and select the data. But what you can do, you can select, you have at identity. So if you run this at identity, it will return a value for 5. Sorry. Yeah. So it will keep showing you what was the last identity it's inserted, and this identity is across the server, and we have something called scope identity, which will tell you like what identity is inserted in this query scope. Scope identity is going to be more accurate because at identity is in database level, so that like if there are other identity insert are being happening, you may not be able to fetch the right one. So what is the purpose of this? Like imagine this is an ID which you wanted to return back to the application, you can use this ID. So these are like system functions or system global variable kind of concept, which is helping you to retrieve the system level informations. Yeah, so in this video we have covered unique key and unique key constraint, check constraint, and as well as like identity. And just keep this in mind, not null is also a constraint which I haven't discussed it, but not null is also making sure that not null no nulls are being inserted into this column, right? So it's a constraint. So when you design a table, two things which you have to keep in mind by just stating that, I'll conclude this video. One, you have to see which data type I have to use based on the nature of the data. If it is like a numerical value or string values or any other type of values, you have to take that decision. So once you are in numeric, you have to think like what value is going to get stored, or like if it is in string, what type of value is going to store. Based on that, you might be choosing, in case of string, varchar and varchar, char and char, these kind of types will be used. And when it comes to numeric, you will be using float, int, money, inside int itself, like small int, tiny int, all these things decision you would be taking on the data type. Then when you design the table, you would also think about what type of data is being stored. Should I apply a constraint that makes sure that the data integrity, right? So that like that, start with not null, you will make sure that this column should not be null. Then you will set unique key that makes sure that duplicates are not being inserted, and then you set check constraints on the numbers when if there is a like you need a range of value to be stored, right? And primary keys are to make sure that the tables having a key that help you to retrieve the data, and foreign keys are helping you to create the referential integrity. With that, I'll conclude this video. Hope this help you to understand what is constraint, what is identity, what is foreign key and primary key in the previous video. Please comment if you have any questions, or reach out to me. If you like this video, feel free to like, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next session. Thank you.